What's good, everybody? It's Amon-Rellik the God Slayer. God Slayers here. Today we're gonna do a small video here on Forspoken. Yesterday I streamed this game for about 4 hours. You can check that out. It'll be in the end card. I'll put a link in the description as well. If you like this kind of stuff, please like, comment, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you can always be notified from when I upload and stream. I stream just about every other day or so. So, let's get into what I want to talk about when it comes to this game. First and foremost, I want to talk about the overall discussion on this game. The overall discussion on this game has been rough. It has been rough. First and foremost, people have been giving this game literally no type of leeway or play whatsoever. Like, now I am currently playing this game. I'm currently playing in 2K graphics at 60 frames per second. And I placed that on my stream title for a specific reason.
Bob seemed worried. I wonder if Bob's okay.
And the reason why I did that, was because there's a specific argument that's like the game is unplayable, and that's what's been the running greetings. That's what's been the running narrative. That the game sucks, it's unplayable, just any other. And, you know, people were going crazy about the PC specs when they released the PC requirements. Now, I don't know how many of them or how many of you all have been used to playing video games on PC, but one of the gifts about playing on PC is that everything is modular, meaning that everything can be pieced together at your whim. You can take things out of your PC and put new things in it, and it'll change the way your PC is capable of doing things, right? It's the same thing with graphics in a game. On PC, there's a lot more options that I am allowed to play around with to fine-tune the game to play at a satisfying level for myself. That is one of the great things about playing on PC. It's one of the reasons why we call our, PC players call themselves, should I say, the master race, because there's you don't get more modular in gaming than playing on a PC. Now, mind you, the consensus was there's no way you could play this game at 60 frames on anything less than a 4080 or at 3K. I mean at 4K graphics. When my monitor is built for it's a 2K monitor. So that's the max I can go without having to suffer massive frame rate loss. So I know for a fact, I was like, okay, there's no way in hell that's not gonna work. There's no way in hell that's not gonna work. Like, I'm gonna make it work. But at the same time, what I wanted to do was I wanted to see just how different the game would look if I tried to run it at max. And even running the game at max, a lot of the things that you would probably look at, like for instance, how textures, like you see these floor textures, you can see how the floor textures have not been truly they haven't truly been given their just due, right? Like you can tell how a lot of this, like out in the world, it's covered by grass. So you really don't see much of it. You just see the nice, beautiful grass, and you can move around the foliage and move it and stuff. So you're not really paying attention to the actual ground design, but the ground design does leave a lot to be desired. Like there's no footsteps to be like you would think on something like this, like a dusty ground like this. You would think I would leave footsteps behind, but I don't. So yeah. I do get the arguments on, the game is, poorly optimized in a lot of ways, and it is, and it's one of those things where I could tell that the focus of their graphical fidelity was Frey and her magic. The background world was considered a secondary priority. I can tell. Because even though the world isn't like horrible looking, it's not terrible looking. But at the same time, it's far from, it's far from Cyberpunk's lively looking world and vibrant looking world and things of that nature. Things are a lot more blandish in color. And again, when you're looking at things from further back, it doesn't seem so bad when you're looking at a whole picture of something. But then as you go in to look at something in particular, you then can see like, okay. Like, we got how even like at its best like that, it's still like, But then if you go a certain direction, it's like, oh no. But one thing that doesn't change is the model of Frey doesn't change. But this stuff does. That stuff does. It changes. You see what I mean? So it's like I could tell where a lot of that power goes, where a lot of that power is going to. And again, criticism where it's due. Yes. They did half-ass the open world itself. Like they did half-ass the world itself. The character animations, they're not great. They're passable. They're not great, but they're passable. Cyberpunk has the same problem to this day. You'll go on Cyberpunk and you'll have women holding imaginary penises and pissing like they're men. Games will never be perfect as long as they are made by human beings, because no human being is perfect. So, cool. When it comes to that, I was like, okay, so is it possible? That's one of the things I wanted to know. Is it possible to make the game still look decent while playing it at 60 frames at 2K? And again, my stream will show you that the game can look okay. It can look okay and be played at that. Do I believe the price tag deserved it? No. I believe that this game should have been 60, maybe 60 out the gate, and then maybe 70 for the deluxe edition. Because I pre-ordered the game, and I pre-ordered the game based on something different. I didn't pre-order it based on like a hype train, but I pre-ordered it based on the fact that I wanted to support a game that was willing to make a female black protagonist. As a black man myself, that was just my personal thing. That's not something that I believe everybody should do. That's not me trying to say that, I'm being woke in that sense, because in all honesty, I am. If you've ever heard my streams or heard my videos, you'll know that I'm actually what many of the woke society will consider a misogynist in a way. But like, I do believe in supporting my people. I do believe in trying to support releases that try to depict my people in at least somewhat, genuine characteristics, and doesn't try to like pigeonhole us into certain things. Like when I saw that she was, a thug girl from New York, I was like, okay, are they gonna try to make her stupid and ignorant? And when I saw how she started out, I was like, okay, no, she's not actually. She's actually very resourceful, and she doesn't seem to be, completely, ignorant and stupid, and there's no like, whorish nature to her. She's just she's just a black girl stuck on hard times in a city that doesn't give a shit about her, and and she's having to survive, and she didn't follow into a lot of the tropes that I know a lot of people will take black characters and try to force them into, because they have a preconceived idea as to what black people are or how they act. Now some people will say, her, she's like condescending and sassy and whatnot. and they don't like that. And I'm like, well, you must not have been around a lot of black girls, because like, brothers, we know how our sisters get. We know our sisters, they got sass. We got that king mentality in us, that make motherfuckers look at black men with fear. And they got that queen mentality in them, that they got flavors, sass, and they got mouths on them. We know how our sisters get. That's why very few people other than us can handle our sisters. We know how they get. You know what I mean? And again, that's just the flavor that comes from us. So while there are certain times when I'm like, okay, they're just making her sassy to be sassy, there are times that they're doing that, but for the most part, Frey's sassiness does feel believable coming from the lifestyle she came from. She comes from a lifestyle where, not giving a fuck. She's only she just turned 21, but she's been living her life on the streets, stealing cars, committing felonies, getting held up by gangsters with guns, doing dealing with gangs and stuff. So it's like, this girl drinks. She obviously drinks. She drank a beer in this game and it was actually like, complimenting how stout the beer was. So we know this ain't no softie. This ain't no softie chick. But at the same time, they still was able to keep, some feminine. They were still able to keep a lot of feminine vibes to her, though. They didn't make her out to be a manly woman. And that's one of the things I love about the nail mechanic. How her nails are a part of her gear. I like how they did that, because they were able to keep a very feminine vibe to a tough girl, because she's a tough girl, So it's like, cool. And again, I wanted to, after seeing those things in like different videos and whatnot in different parts of the media, that's what made me say, I'm gonna pre-order this. I'm gonna give it all I got from the start, and so it was one of those things where that was my personal reason for pre-ordering. Again, I consider myself proud and love the fact that I'm black. So, to see us represented in a way that's not, ignorant, yeah, cool, yeah, shawty, to get us out of that. But at the same time, still show a girl come from, an impoverished background. And, a background that many black people can relate to. That's another thing. There's a lot that can be related to this girl in the sense of growing up black in America in that sense. And I'm not even trying to go into that, but it's there. That relatable part is there. So it's like, all right, I already have a soft spot for her in my heart just because her background mimics mine in a lot of ways. So it's like, all right, bet. I gotta be down. I gotta be down. I love her. But like, the game itself, yes, it does. It has cut a lot of corners. And hopefully, like again, for certain people who are in those realms where they just feel like they can't enjoy this game unless it's at its max graphics and running at 60 frames. Hopefully you guys will get a patch that will allow you guys to, an optimization patch that will allow you guys to do that. Again, it's operating it's operating at a level in which I am okay with, but that's because I myself have tinkered with the graphics here. Just to give you an idea of what I played around with graphical wise, I'm on custom. You can take a look at these. This is also, they put out a DLSS patch on for NVIDIA itself. NVIDIA came out with its own update for the DLSS 3, and it specifically listed this game, Forspoken, as a part of that update. So again, I'm not running the game on necessarily low everything in that sense. And I'll put up a little graphic, not a graphic, but I'll put up a list of what my PC specs are, or at least the ones that matter, because my PC spec list is like super long. But like, I'll put up the spec that matters, because like when I decided I wanted to get into creating videos, you know, I dug deep into my pockets and was like, I want to invest. If I'm gonna want people to invest in me, I had to be showing that I'm willing to invest in myself, and I did that, and I spent $5,000. I spent $5,000 to get a PC together. So it's like, there was like, and again, I've run for Cyberpunk, you know, and even with it, I can run the game mainly with ease, but even it has times in which it hiccups on me, and I'm not even playing it at its recommendedly at any high settings that would be like strenuous, you know. So I'm like, yeah, if I can run Cyberpunk, if I can run Red Dead Redemption 2, then I know I can run this game. There's no way in hell that those PC specs are just concrete and set as law. But people were running around taking the piss on this game as if those PC specs were like set in stone. Like, I didn't understand that part. Like, I understood, yeah, you know, having a game that wasn't wholly optimized, or having a game that wasn't that had cut corners. I can understand you being mad about that, and of course the price tag that goes along with that. I get all of those. I agree with all of those. Yes, that's fucked up. But the game itself is not impossible to play. It can be played at 2K graphics with 60 frames, and the game does look decent for what you're getting, in that sense of when you're playing out in the field, the area looks great. You know, it's just when you get up on something and you start actually nitpicking the visuals, yeah, you're gonna be like, oh, okay, yeah, that didn't look as pretty as it did from back here. But then I understand why they did that. Not that it was good, but I understand the mentality but why they did that. Because they expect you to be doing this all day. They expect you to be running around, jumping, because if you notice, whenever she jumps, the camera like zooms back. Every time she jumps, the camera zooms back on you real quick. It zooms back on you. And that's what they expect you to do. They expect you to be doing all this jumping, all this running, all this running and jumping. They want you to be doing all of this, all of this right here, they want you to be doing all of this. And while you're doing all of this, you're not necessarily looking at, hey, why does this look like crumpled up butter? Why does this look like aged butter? You're not doing that when you're running around and jumping around, But, as a PC gamer, I do it. So I recognize it like, okay, that rope looked like it come from Skyrim. You know what I'm saying? That rope looked like it come from Skyrim. Well, not the original Skyrim, but the modded ropes in Skyrim. You know what I'm saying? You might expect them ropes to look a little bit better. You know what I mean? Especially this dirt ground. This dirt ground could use some things. But it's like at the same time, while there was different criticisms, people were making the blanket statements that this game was terrible. And it's like, this game is not terrible. Alright, it ain't the best thing in the world, and it's probably it is more than likely not as good as Square Enix wanted you to believe it was, but the game ain't terrible. You know what I'm saying? Like, do I regret spending my money on this game? Currently, no. After my 5.5 hours of playing it in total, not including the video here that I'm doing, I'm very much pleased at what I got, and I will say, I was looking forward to seeing how the game was going to be received when it first came out, again, because this was a different take at superheroes in a way, because it's like, what if you took a girl out of a realistic lifestyle from the modern day And it's like playing on that whole thing that we as real people do. We fantasize about being heroes in a world. What if we took somebody from a realistic world and have them actually fall into a fantasy world where they're important, where unlike in her real world where Frey was just another black girl, another statistic, you could say. In this world, she is the one person that can save it. And so it's like to all of a sudden become that importance and have to tangle with the idea of responsibility, more responsibility than just yourself. Like I'm eager to see how she takes on that journey. And I've been pleasantly and I won't say pleasantly surprised. I done seen too many stories nowadays to not know how a story will tend to go, but I haven't been disappointed in its story yet. I know a lot of people say the dialogue is trash and all of that. Now, when it comes to the dialogue, I will say that the banter between her and Cuff, I understand that banter is going to be repeated. Like, regardless of what she does in the story and how her character arc in the story is going to go, I know that the open world, her and him, they interact with each other a lot over the smallest of things. When she picks up stuff, when she's running around and jumping around, they talk. During the combat, they talk. Before combat, they talk. After combat, they talk. So it's like, I know that a lot of those lines are going to be repeated. And I know that, a lot of their interactions is just going to be filler. It's going to be filler noise, And I know that you can actually turn down the amount of times he talks, which is a cool thing to put in. So I'm glad they gave that option, I think they did, yeah. I think they did. I believe they did. They get that option for to turn down how often Cuff talks. Yeah. Yeah, Cuff's chat frequency. And so, it's oh, that's cool. Universal marriage can be done in empirical. That's cool. I actually want to turn that on. Semi-transparent. Yeah, I like that. All right. But like, yeah, I've played games enough with, especially open world games where you have dialogue in them like that, where you're like got a partner with you or something like that. I know that dialogue isn't meant to be inspired. That particular dialogue isn't meant to be inspired. It's meant to just be filler while you're running around doing stuff. Now, when it comes to the dialogue in the story, present in the story, I haven't had a big problem with that dialogue. We just, I know the stream ended with us going to meeting the first Tanta, and while the first Tanta did, it's like, I don't know, like her voice acting seemed a little forced, but maybe that's because she was voice acting angrily, so maybe it felt like it was forced because of the fact that she was angry, and she was trying to portray that anger. But other than that, I really didn't really see a super glaring point in the dialogue being bad. Is it oh, you tarnished? No, it's not that. But then again, that's an entirely different type of world. This girl is still wearing sneakers with skinny jeans. You know what I mean? So, I'm not even gonna hold it and be like, she should be having Shakespearean, speech or whatever, or that she should sound like she's, impassioned and embroiled in, like, this is a black girl from New York who just want to get the hell back trying to get the hell back home, and she's not really concerned with these folks but she's slowly becoming concerned with them, and that's cool, And again, I know it won't be everybody's cup of tea, and for some people, it won't be their cup of tea because they're just not into this kind of game. And then for others, it's not going to be their cup of tea because there's some more nefarious reasons behind it. And my thing is just, guys, give this game a fair shake. Don't just jump on the hype train of everybody disliking the game. Get out there, and again, if you don't want to buy it full price, fine, cool. Wait till it's on sale or whatever. Or, do what streamers are here for. Watch us play it on stream. But like, I wanted you to see what I'm working with so that you can understand that it's a bold-faced lie there if people are running around saying that you can't play this game on anything other than the settings that the PC requirements say. You can find a middle ground somewhere in there where you can play the game and still enjoy some of the game's overall beauty and still play it at 60 frames. Like don't let the people who either are disingenuous with their hate or just misinformed about how PC ports. I mean, because even though you can call us a PC port, and yeah, PC ports are never really all that good. Very rarely do you come across a PC port that's great, and this is one of them, But it's not impossible to make decent. It's not. You just gotta put in a little bit of extra legwork on the back end. Should you have to? That is up for discussion. When it comes to PC, that's up for discussion. But I'm just saying that you can put in a little bit of that legwork and get, a decently beautiful game out of this, And, yeah. Other than that, like I said, you'll see my PC specs up on the screen. You would have seen them already earlier. I put them up. And then, of course, I just showed you a little bit what I'm working at. I'll do that one last time here. We'll go over to graphics, and I'll do a slow ride down through here so you can kind of see what I put up, and you can mimic this if your system is, if your computer system is anywhere near mine in that way, you can kind of like mimic this. And then of course on my display settings, all right. But again, guys, thanks for watching. Amon-Rellik, the God Slayer. Amon-Rellik Gaming. I just wanted to give my 2 cents on the discussion around this game. And as a person who did play it day one on stream, less than 2-3 hours after it released on Steam, I just wanted to give my 2 cents on a lot of the discussion that's been going around about it. And while I know some arguments are genuine and they are worthy, I was seeing certain arguments that were just being very disingenuous, and there was a hate for the game that had nothing to do with the game's actual quality of gameplay and things of that nature. It had a lot to do with the subject of the game itself. In any case, guys, I'm Amon-Rellik the God Slayer, Amon-Rellik Gaming. I will be back streaming this game tonight at between 6 and 7 p.m. We'll be going for about a good 3 hours like we always do. And just come see us there on Amon-Rellik Gaming. I'm out.